Hey guys, Mr. Biz here, Ken Wentworth. I did a video about 3 or 4 weeks ago about considering invoice financing as an option to help you with late paying customers. And I've gotten some questions since then about how to go about it, what are the things to look for and everything. So before I even get into that though, if you missed that other video, obviously you can go check it out on the YouTube channel or on social media or whatever. But what is invoice financing? Invoice financing is when a company, a factoring company, will give you cash up front for an invoice. So let's say, for example, make the numbers easy. And they'll do that for up typically 95%, depending on the invoice and the company, industry, et cetera. But consider a $10,000 invoice. If they were going to fund 95% of it, you would give them the invoice. They would in turn give you $9,500 right then. Then they take over the accounts receivable. They take over collecting that. Once they collect the $10,000, they'll take the factoring fee out of the remaining 500, right? They've already given you 9,500. They'll take the factoring fee out of the remaining 500 and give you the rest. And that's the end, right? So there's no debt. You don't incur any debt, anything like that. So it's definitely a really good option to consider. So that all being said, again, to answer some of the questions that folks were asking about, what are the things to consider, some pitfalls, challenges, et cetera. So I came up with five things that if you're looking into invoice financing, you're starting to get quotes, you're talking to some companies, et cetera. Here's some important things. There's a whole bunch of them, but here's the 5 most important. If you get these right, you're going to be in good shape. Number one, how long has the company been in business? You don't want a fly-by-night company. And in this industry, unfortunately, there are fly-by-night companies. I would recommend personally, you work with a company that's been in business at least 20 years. If they've been in business for 20 years, they've been through several business cycles, and they treated their customers right. If they didn't treat their customers right, they would not have survived 20 years. So that's what I would recommend. The number 2 factor and thing to consider is obviously cost. So of course, factoring is not free. It is a form of financing, but it doesn't have to be expensive if you use it wisely. I will add a side note to that. If you get a quote from a factoring company and it is abnormally inexpensive, right? Super, super cheap. There's a reason for that. There's very, very likely that they are not being transparent with you. There are hidden fees. You're going to get surprised at the end. And I'll talk about that in a minute, but you got to make sure you're aware of that. Super, super important. The number 3 thing to consider is funding speed. So if you're going to utilize this tool, right, this tool in your tool belt to improve your cash flow is about timing, right? Time is money. If it takes them 5 days, a week, 10 days to fund it, that doesn't do much for your cash flow, right? Look for a company that has a short funding turnaround time. That's obviously important if you're doing this for cash flow. You want to make sure funding is very timely. Super important. All right, another thing to consider, there are 2 different options you can have. You can do recourse invoice financing and you can do non-recourse invoice financing. So let me explain those very briefly. And if you're talking with a company, some companies only offer one or the other, or one, not both. I would, the options are varying from each invoice you have and the situation you have with that particular vendor. So I would recommend, again, going with a company that offers both. So recourse invoice financing is when, let's say in that example I gave earlier about the $10,000 invoice. So they give you the $9,500 up front. They attempt to collect it. They are unable to collect it. They will come back to you and say, hey, we need our $9,500 back. And at first that sounds harsh, but think about it. It's no different than if you would have not used them and you would have gone your own way and not been able to collect it, right? You're in the same situation you'd have been in either way. And they're a professional. They're obviously have a vested interest in ensuring that they collect it. So they have a team of professional collectors. You probably don't have that in your business. That's another advantage. The other option is non-recourse invoice financing. Non-recourse is going to be a little more expensive, of course, because the factoring company will bear all of the risk. So in that same example, you give them a $10,000 invoice, they give you $9,500, they try to collect it, they're not able to collect it, they eat it. They don't ask you for any money back. So they're assuming all of the risk there. And again, that's going to be a little more expensive. But it's always good to have that option, depending on the client you're dealing with, the industry you're dealing with, et cetera, at least having more options is very important. Okay, so that's 4 of them. The 5th thing I'll tell you that's super, super important, and I mentioned this a little bit, but I wanted to reiterate and put it in as number 5 because it's super important because this happens it's prevalent with some of the shady companies that are in the space. Beware of any hidden costs. Demand full transparency. And again, I hate to say it, but there are companies out there that are a little shady, little sharky. Okay. And so you got to be careful of that. Again, like if you're getting a quote that's abnormally inexpensive, that's probably what it is. So you got to demand that full transparency. So now you might be saying, okay, I got it. I know what to look for. I want to consider this as an option. There's a company out there that I would recommend. Love these guys. The name of the company is Porter Capital. They've got a couple offices that are based in Birmingham, Alabama. And so let me just prove to you what I just told you, right? I told you all the things to watch out for. So here's how Porter Capital falls on the scale with all of those things I mentioned. So number one, how long have they been in business? They've been in business 30 years. They do things the right way. They would not have made it 30 years in this industry or any industry for that matter if they didn't treat their customers the right way. So super important. Cost. They have competitive rates. They're not the cheapest. They're not the most expensive, but they will work with you. The hand-holding and the customer service you're going to get from them, they're not going to try to push you into a product or anything like that or a sale. Doesn't make sense for you. Good people. Number three, speed. Get this. They can fund. Remember I told you time is money, right? They can fund in as little as 24 hours. Not every single case is going to be 24 hours, but they can fund in as little as 24 hours. That's what you're looking for, obviously, if you're looking for cash flow solutions. So that's super important. Number four, I talked about recourse versus non-recourse. They offer both. So you have the option. Again, you can make the decision on your own. Recourse is going to be cheaper. Non-recourse is going to be a little more expensive. Again, at least have the options there, and you can make the decisions for yourself, what makes the most sense for you and your business at that given time. The last thing, there are no hidden fees. They're very transparent, very honest, full disclosure of everything. Again, they do business the right way. Good people, highly recommend them. So again, Porter Capital, and I'll put it, you can find out more. Go to portercap.com/Mr. Biz. The Mr. Biz thing just tells you that you came to them through me. They'll give you the red carpet treatment. They'll treat you right. Mark Porter is one of the founders, super good guy. I've met him. He's been on Mr. Biz Radio before. I'm actually traveling down to meet the whole team in person in Birmingham. So good people, go to portercap.com/Mr. Biz, as you see on the screen. Wanted to clarify all this. If you guys have other questions about any of this, invoice financing, other cash flow tips, et cetera, do not hesitate, as always, to reach out. Appreciate you guys watching. Till next time,